Good afternoon. I'll call General Services Public Works Committee meeting to order. It's September 13th, 2021, noon, and we are in the library community room along with council members Wood and English. And we have 3 items on our agenda today. The first being request approval for a 1-year extension to the current police association agreement. And I welcome Troy Tymeson, our city administrator, today.
Good afternoon. Thank you. We are winding up our fiscal year, council members, as you well know. Thanks for your assistance on approving a budget with a 0% increase. This is a formal agreed upon extension. It's been agreed upon by the Police Officers Association. All of the impacts have been included in the budget that you have approved. As you have lived, this has been a challenging year, and getting together to negotiate is something that's usually done in person, and you tend to be within the same room and distancing. Everything else going on, the association, along with at least this individual, said maybe we just move it forward and get together next year. This was formally designed to end the end of this month, which is our fiscal year. So I would stand for any questions. Hopefully this is not at all a surprise, as we've talked about it a little bit throughout the whole budget process.
Any questions, Christy?
Madam Chair, thank you. No, I think it's a very prudent decision by yourself and the Police Association, and I am ready to make a motion to approve of a 1-year extension to the Coeur d'Alene Police Association agreement.
Second.
Any discussion?
Well, I also think, this is a time I support the mask we'll be wearing, but for clarity of the audio feed, when I talk, I might take it down a bit, but yeah, this makes sense, and if there was ever a time to, just kind of keep it going for a little bit, considering the circumstance, this is it. So I appreciate all of the partners working together on that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Troy.
you.
Our second item today is declare used police vehicles to be surplus and authorize the sale at auction. And with us today, we have Captain Dave Hagar. Welcome.
Thank you. Council members, what I bring to you is fairly straightforward. We have 4 vehicles as old as 17 years and as young as 8 years that have various mechanical issues, transmission. The youngest one at 8 years has 115,000 miles on it, and it's burning a quart of oil every 400 to 500 miles. We've limped these along as far as we can, and it doesn't make good fiscal responsibility to put any more work into them. So at this time, we'd request that you declare them as surplus vehicles, and we can take them to auction per our standard procedure.
Any questions?
Well, Madam Chair, I've said this before, when they bring forward these jalopies, I'm pretty sure I drove them, and I agree, it's time for them to go out to pasture. I would make a motion to declare used police vehicles to surplus and authorize the sale at auction.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And the last item on our agenda today is a presentation from Parks Director Bill Greenwood.
Hello, everyone.
I'm looking forward to this, Bill. Thanks for being here. You said you prepared us to settle in for a 3-hour show.
I can talk fast. So we're here to talk today about our 5 divisions. So it's park and recreation, and we have cemetery, recreation, building maintenance, urban forestry, and we also have the cemetery. So we're going to give you an overview of all of those responsibilities. So some of the fun stuff that we do, some time back during the budgeting, there were several other of my fellow directors who had said to me, gosh, Greenwood, you get to do all the fun stuff, and I have to agree. We really do a lot of different fun stuff. And so just a few slides of, there's some fun stuff I found.
like
I
that.
found this guy out at Cherry Hill one day and decided to take a picture of him.
Where did you find him?
This one was, I found at Cherry Hill.
Okay, I'm not going there.
Yeah, you're not going there? Actually, I was up there one time with a contractor, and he screamed like a little girl when he saw the snake. I was surprised. He seemed like a burly dude, but it didn't work out that way. So yeah, just a lot of the fun stuff that we do in the parks. This is what you see all the time, all summer long. Even this is fun stuff. This is after that big windstorm we had. We went up there and did some logging, got some money back into the Tubbs Hill Foundation's, our line item for the Tubbs Hill. And so that was fun. This was our crew doing that work. Trail repairs, that's fun stuff. All this, there's a drainage system we're reinstalling there with the help of the Tubbs Foundation. That's some of the Tubbs Foundation members. And here we are building, this is our staff taking care of the installation of the playground at Atlas. Just more fun stuff. This is Monty's handiwork here. This is the new entrance from the old dog park where Councilman English was just asking me about, where it used to be at Northshire. We moved it over around the tennis courts, and we did a new entrance into that with that brick. And here we are laying in this fabric so that the pickleballers are not bothered by the dogs chasing the balls. So we had to put up a little shield there. Just paint some stuff. Here's some fun stuff. This is kind of interesting. Post Halls has parks, but they like to come to ours instead. Mudgee Millie, and we had a little osprey out there on one of our trucks one day, and so just the fun stuff. All fun stuff. Not so fun stuff. That got burned down a few years ago. Tagging, more tagging. We're planting trees and toilets now. So we clean all this stuff up probably before the public even knows it happens. So our staff is really Johnny on the spot, and we take care of things very rapidly. And so that happens. So I'll give you an overview. So here is all the vision we talked about. We maintain 587 acres that include 32 parks and 393 natural open space, 50 miles pedestrian bike paths. And so recreation, we have 24 regular scheduled programs. Cemetery, 22 acres. Riverview is 7.5. These are all averages. And the reason I did averages on these was because COVID kind of changed our numbers. And so we went back and just did some averages. But that's just kind of what we do is the park sees, 125,000 or 100 folks in there in the season, and so we have 7,000 hours of use. Urban forestry, we have 22,000 trees we maintain, and Adam and Joe take care of 214,000 square feet of buildings, and you'll see all of these broke down here in a moment. So here's
Bill,
how our structure. Yes.
Would you, and putting you on the spot, but 500 and some acres are parks.
We
If
have
you
about
were to equate that into kind of a land mass, just give people, how many square blocks or some kind of a relevant measure people in their head could say, wow, in the city, that's like.
I don't know. I couldn't give you a visual on.
Or 10%.
So if we do develop parkland, you'll see that coming up here, that the mow crew mows 200 acres of parkland. So to get kind of a visual, the interchange, let's do it this way. Ramsey Park is about 30 acres. So if you put that in your mind and did your multiplier, that gives you kind of an estimate about, your mind's eye, what that might look like.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's our breakdown, the structure, how we are, Parks Division, Recreation Division, Urban Forestry, and Building Maintenance Division. And then we work with these commissions, the Park and Rec Commission, the Ped Bike Committee, Urban Forestry, Tubbs Hill Foundation, Parks Foundation, Centennial Trail Foundation, and Jewett House Board. So those are the committees that we work with. So what you're going to do now is we have our community broken into sections, and we have people assigned to each one of those sections. And so this is the Waterfront Corridor run by Mike and Jared and Mark. These, all these individuals, and here's a little backstory too. Mark and Jared, you'll see this throughout the slides, we hire a lot of folks from within. We really promote from within. Mike is one of the few, along with myself, there's about 5 of us that were actually hired from the outside. Most everybody else started out with us as a seasonal employee. So there's great opportunity with us. So they manage the First Street docks. That's between the resort and the resort's corporate. That's ours. City Beach, of course. City Hall parking lot, City Park parking lot. So Fort Sherman, this was done, you might remember when this was done, but it was built in 5 days, 2,000 volunteers. and put this up. It was raw wood. They had quite an assembly line going on and put that thing together in short order. We take care of the maintenance at this building as well, Fire Station 1, fire admin as well. Hubbard Street Park is between NIC Beach and City Beach. We own that parcel there. We handle Independence Point, commercial docks, Memorial Field. This is all those 3 individuals, mind you, and a few seasonals that they manage all of these areas. Museum, Northwest Boulevard Islands. I know people understand that all these islands we maintain all the way up to the school, and you'll see that coming up where these along Northwest Boulevard and end up on Ramsey Road, all those swales, those are ours as well. And the skate park, and you're going to see shortly a new sign that's going to be put out here for the skate park coming up, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. And they also manage the 3rd Street docks. Monty just, and you guys approved it, and we got it put in, new dock system here for these 2 new docks. The mooring docks, and then City Hall, and East Tubbs. East Tubbs used to be right about here. There was a building that was the old water superintendent's building. We tore that down in '90 and installed this park. Interesting enough, from the building site that was here, there's actually a tunnel that goes all the way out to that well. And when we were building this, we didn't know it was there, and we almost got a dump truck stuck in it because it collapsed. But we got her out. And the Jewett House. This is kind of an interesting shot. When I was doing this slide, you'll see the next slide coming up and how similar they are. So Jewett House, we handle all this and inside and outside, and we have weddings there. But take a look at the building design of this White House that was landed here next to us, and look at that one. It looks like the same architect did the work. They're only a few years apart. And library, and McEwen Park, and K27. You all know this was a big thing for our mayor. He spearheaded this, and we worked with this to get this done with the Parks Foundation. And it's a really nice looking, and as it filled in, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And these are kind of the areas that people don't know we manage. This is a green space at 23rd and Sherman. We take care of that. There's a few pockets you'll see throughout this presentation that are like that. 12th Street Beach, and then Sanders. And that's the area of those 3 individuals and a handful of seasonals. So this is area 2. This is Robert and Bailey on the east side of town. So Robert was a seasonal, and now he's running this side of town, and he's also in charge of our cemetery. Very, very good guy. Bailey is our newest hire, and she's fit in really well. She's from Driggs, Idaho, and she's was a ranch hand and a horse. She does horses, so she's really used to being out in the field, and she's really good, a great fit for us. So here's these odd little places. 4th Street Island in front of the high school. That's ours. We maintain that. The 4th Street Roundabout, we maintain that. 4th Street Triangle, we maintain that. So here it is, Bryan Field. This is part of their overview, 2.1 acre park. They also handle Canfield Sports Complex. Over here is Eisenwinter soccer field, along with the 4 ball fields that we use along with Little League. Cherry Hill Park, this was fun. We did this park ourselves right here, which is a dog park. The only thing that we had done was the fencing, and a Boy Scout did the pavilion and installed that, but we installed and managed to build that whole park in-house ourselves. BMX is a good partner. They have an association. They're tied into with USA BMX foundations or association, what they are. And so they're sanctioned, and this is one of the better courses here in the Northwest. 9/11, this was a Fallen Heroes. This was a really good project. We did this a few years ago, and you've all been out there. But again, those 2 individuals managed this with a couple of seasons. Fire Station 3 is ours to maintain, inside and out. North Pines Park. And then here's our favorite here. We liked it so much. The park's so nice, we paid for it twice. Ron's Great Line. And so Junior Tackle uses this this fall, and they get a big turnout for everybody that participates there. Fippany Park just down the road here. This is an interesting one, and we've got a new art piece that's there, put in a year ago or two. And these trees have got placards on them, so if you wanted to know a species that might look, more mature rather than a little pot, you can go out there and see what it looks like. And Shattuck Lane, this is a really nice area too. It's got a good walking trail. The neighborhood really likes walking out here. And all of these things you've been seeing with this path, and you'll see this in an upcoming slide, we take care of all the snow around here. And so it's always open for the public to go out there, and we, get out there early in the morning and get everything cleaned up. Another odd piece that we manage that no one really realizes is a lift station out there at Shattuck. This is, I worked this out with Sid when he was still working with us back then, and we maintain that for wastewater. And Sunset. I remember when this was a blank field and we built this. So field 1 is off the camera here a little bit, but that's the newest piece. So we have 2 ball fields there. This is the Ets Area, so she manages this quadrant in here. This Diet, I hired her in 1999, and she got picked up as a full-timer in 05. So it's another one of those that we did an in-house recruitment. She's been with us for a very long time. Great gal. But she manages these Northwest Boulevard Islands, Fire Station 2, Police Station, Jenny Stokes, Street Department. So we've got some landscaping out around the front. She handles that. I-90, she does the bed work. This grass here, you'll see the mow crew does this. This is a type of grass that we mow once a month. It's called Cointreau Sheep's Fescue. We put it that way on purpose so we don't have to mow it every week. And then Days Inn, we manage that frontage there on both sides of the street. This is the other side. That's that Coeur d'Alene rock. We handle, we actually pull snow off that all the time because the plows come by and splash snow on it. So we take a broom with us when we're out doing that and brush that off. Ramsey Park, there's your 30 acres, so you get that visual about what you were just asking about. And then Ramsey Swale, so all the way from the Kroc Center all the way to high school, we manage these. And we're hoping at some point we're going to try something here. We used the clover at Atlas, and we're considering doing that here, where we would plant the clover and then do a subsurface irrigation, so we're not going to have any water waste. So we still need to treat the stormwater, and we believe that we can do that in-house as a demonstration, and then slowly chip away at all these. Once we figure it out, I think we can start really making headway on that. Bill Andrews. Bill Andrews has been with us since, he was a seasonal during Ice Storm. And he got picked up as a full-timer in about 2001. These are the parks that he manages: Bluegrass, the soccer complex, Central Dog Park. Now that park used to be over here, and we again moved it in here ourselves and did the work in-house. We had some assistance with the street department that put in this path for us. He handles Fire 4, Landings, Legacy Place. Now this is an interesting one. It's a little pocket park. It's there. We're hoping, as it says here, when this comes in for development, we'd like to get something from the developer we could just attach to this side of the park and extend it. That was our hope all along. So we hope we can get there with them. And he handles some of those. Let's see, the breaking point from what Diet did was Kathleen. So she does Kathleen to the Kroc Center on these swales. Bill takes it from Kathleen up to the high school. And then this is an interesting picture. It's an older one. This is after we resurfaced these tennis courts. They have since changed this. We have 6 stand-alone pickleball courts here now. And then the tennis court's still here, but we didn't get a new picture of that one. Sunshine Meadows, that's Bill's also. And then area of responsibility, this is Monty. Monty does all the rough mowing on all the trails. You all know Monty. So Atlas Trail, you were just asking about that. And so we just received this Canfield, well, this is not the one we just received, this is ours. This is Canfield Mountain Natural Area, and it's, the next slide shows how this ties in to what you guys just approved. Here was the Can Course property, which links to the Forest Service property. So it's really an extensive hiking trail system now. So he manages the Centennial Trail. That includes sweeping it and snow removal. And then these areas are, again, odd spots. Evergreen Island off of Atlas, we mow that a couple times a year and take care of the trees there as well. Same with this Nez Perce Islands. These are out by Northshire Park. We manage those. The well site near 4th Street, the water department's got their building here. We mow this for them. Cherry Hill, and you'll see this coming forward. I'm working on something as I see this. I'll share this with you. I'm working with the Pickleball Association. They would like to partner with us to do some more stand-alone pickleball courts. And so we're working on an MOU with them, come to you this winter sometime. But we're thinking about trying to put some pickleball courts in this grassy spot right here. So Northwest Boulevard, where it's rough and it's not, that's kind of near Harbor Center. Monty handles all of this mowing. All this mowing here at that new swale that engineering redid, he manages that. Just all of these swales that we do for stormwater. There's another one. So these are all just rough mow areas. This Winton has got this little area next to it, which is the natural area. So we've got the developed piece where the school is and the horseshoe pits, but this is an area that's just raw land that we just keep natural. He mows this front edge. This is ITD stuff, but we mow this as our area that we take care of. And then he took this shot because our piece of Fernan is over on this side. And so right now, Nick's been working on, our urban forester been working on some fuel reduction over here. We're about wrapping that up. And so the trail system in here is really, really nice, and we've got a little bit more work to do, but it's a nice addition to our system. This is a little more strenuous hike, so if people want to go there and get more of a workout than you might get on Tubbs Hill, it's really good for that. And then Kathleen Trail, that's out there by the state parks on Kathleen. And then this is that intersection there where Centennial Trail meets the Prairie Trail and Centennial Trail goes on along the freeway. Celtice was done a couple years ago, so all of that frontage is 4 miles. Monty takes care of mowing that. And in the past, we would try and get those done 5 or 6 times, but this year was short-handed. We didn't do them, but maybe half that. And we're still working on some of that. And of course, Tubbs Hill. We mapped this a little differently. For years, it had showed it as 120 on a flat, but when we take the elevation into account, it's a little bit more acreage than just on a plan view. So it went from 120 to 160 in acreage. And then Fernan, a veteran centennial up here, the Van Lukens donated that to us, and we had a master plan, and we talked through that. We have not done much with this now, but he goes out there and mows it several times a year. And we went in here and did some tree management here not that long ago as well. And then this hasn't come to us yet, but this is along 95. The ITD just was doing some work out there and put in a new trail system. Our portion, that's going to be from Appleway to Prairie. And then from Prairie to Lancaster is going to be under the jurisdiction of Hayden. And then beyond Lancaster, the county is going to take it. And so then that's going to, at some point, hopefully it'll go up quite some distance, but the county and us have the larger piece of that section. And our part of that will be, again, rough mowing and snow removal. And this is the cemetery. This is Robert and DJ. So Mr. Cooper and DJ Richardson. Again, DJ was seasonal, and he got hired a few years ago as a full-timer. So they managed the shopping yard there right just north of Forest Cemetery. There's Forest Cemetery, 21-acre site. And then the Government Way Islands, all the way from Garden up to Harrison, we manage those. Lincoln Way Triangle, again, an odd little piece of green that people don't know that we manage, that's there. Riverview. We've been planting Riverview, so at some point here in some years ahead, it'll be pretty heavily forested. It won't be as forested as Forest is, but we've got planted, we are continually planting more and more trees in there just to give it much more appealing. Another little odd piece, Walnut Island, we manage that as well. So those guys run over there and mow that once a week and keep the shrubs down. US 95 landscaping, there's 95 bridge, so you see that green belt. The cemetery guys take care of that. And the Larry and Barry show. Larry was a seasonal for about 4 years, and mid-2000 he became a full-timer. Barry is one of the newer hires that we got from the outside. Great hand, really, really good mechanic. Both these guys are really dedicated. Their responsibility is Atlas Mill. You all have seen plenty about that. Riverstone Park, Riverstone Dog Park, which is right along the Prairie Trail. And then they also manage the landscaping on Celtice roundabouts. They manage the landscaping around this parking lot. And then Mill River, of course. And then they've, again, the little island that people that wouldn't know that is ours, but Gibbs Island there along Northwest Boulevard is ours to maintain. Winton Park, we've got horseshoe tournaments that go here, the schools there, that other area that I was telling you about, to the natural areas off to the left of the screen, and they manage that. And the Mo Crew, so this is, Czar was a seasonal, he is our irrigation lead technician. Tom was a seasonal, and he is on the Mo Crew with Dave, also a seasonal. So all three of these guys were seasonals at one time. They worked with us for a couple of years, showed their mettle, and they looked like good candidates, and so we hired them. So just a real quick thing here. I'm going to go through all these, but it's an interesting, this is where Czar manages. The linear feet of main line is almost 14 miles that he has to manage, and the lateral lines almost 80. I don't think this included Atlas, because we've yet to get the as-builts, so I would anticipate this being closer to 15 miles maybe, and this one probably closer to, I don't know, maybe 70 miles when we're done adding that all up and we see that we've got there. And so here's the Mo Crew's schedule. They manage to hit every one of those parks that I just showed you and get it done. So they do about 200 acres of turf. And street trees, that's Nick Goodwin. So he manages over 25,000 public trees, coordinates with public tree planting and maintenance, as well as manages the cost share program for residential and single-family homes. He's our liaison, Urban Forestry Committee, and he also records and coordinates all of our Tree City USA status. So he manages all of that. And just some shots of public trees and hazard trees, tree plantings. This was a good program. We did it a couple of times, haven't done it in a while, but the goats were always really, a public favorite. They would go up there and watch the goats, take care of that. And then building department, Adam Kay and Joe. So Adam Karitko is another outside hire. Really, we got lucky with this guy. He's phenomenal at what he does. Joe's the same way. He was a seasonal. We picked him up full time. So here are all the things that they manage within our system: the Armory, Atlas Restroom, City Hall, the parking garage, fire admin, pole barn, fire stations, 1, 2, 3, and 4, for a total of almost 37,000 square feet. Harbor Center, HRI. So they've got a lot to do when you look at all of this stuff. And then on our recreation side, we've got Paul Austin, Adam, and Jerry, and Jordan. These guys are absolutely phenomenal. They do so much with so little staff. So here's a list of all the things that they provide for our community. And I just can't say enough about all of my staff. I don't know how we do what we do. When I start looking at the stats and how it comes together, I'm just always aghast at how fortunate we are to have the people we have working for us. It's just my favorite fishing. And then McGrain Center, pickleball, special needs, Jewett House, and here's the snow routes. And so just highlights on this stuff here is like we do 17 acres of parking lots when we do snow removal. So we do all those sites you see, we do all of the smaller lots. Street department handles all the big stuff, but all the small stuff, we handle all of that. Trails that we are taking is about, snow removal on trails is about 22 miles of trails. And we get that done usually, if the snow isn't heavy, we're usually done by about noon. We start around 4, and they get all this stuff done. We got this picture from a gentleman who gave us thanks. He rides his bike to work. And here's how he gets to work, because we were able to get out there and do snow removal. So pay no attention to this guy in the corner. These two people, along with Adam Kay and Paula Austin, those 4 people really make the department what the department is. They are really, as I said moments ago, I can't say enough good things. They just are always on it. They're overly dedicated to, taking, Jeff and I, took a call, a friend of ours who recently passed away, Dwight Bershaw, would walk the park, and he would send me texts at 2 and 3 in the morning when there was a broken sprinkler. And he sent me a text at 3 in the morning, and I happened to look at my phone, and the K-27 had lost its water, and it sounded like a jet engine. So I called Jeff, and he and I meet out there at 3 in the morning and take care of it. And that's the kind of thing that all of my staff does, and I'm real fortunate. And that's it. Told you I could talk fast.
Well, thank you, Bill. That was a fantastic presentation, and I think I'm speaking for all of us, and we'll take turns, but I'm so appreciative of your team and the hard work they do. I know I certainly enjoy the trails in our parks on a daily basis, and I'm one that utilizes the trails in the winter and appreciate the plowing, so
Good.
Please share our appreciation.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, Bill, it takes a good leader to lead a team like that. So don't sell yourself short. You're a fantastic leader.
Well, thank you. I
appreciate everything
that.
you do.
Thank you.
I want, if this could be done between yourself and Jeff Crow, I would love your entire presentation that you just did to be on our website.
Okay.
Under parks or wherever.
Okay.
Just for the knowledge
Okay.
for citizens of, look at all these parks we have. Look at our cemeteries. Look at the trails, and then the youth recreational programs. I'm sure they're all there, but this is such a fantastic presentation.
Well, we can put that link there real easily, actually.
Excellent.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
I would just add a few perspectives to that, because I also get to serve on our Urban Renewal Board, and this was the stuff touching with the city of Coeur d'Alene government, but there's a whole lot of stuff that has happened between our urban renewal
Absolutely.
districts and all of that. And Bill has come in just numerous times to talk about, all of the stuff and how we, whenever there is some kind of a problem, obstacle, or we're going to, work with those. I remember when we had that strip of lots we were going to sell off across from the old Crystal Plunge and all of that, and with making stuff we got to have a fence here and we're going to have whatever that, Bill has done a terrific job of, coordinating, brainstorming with that, so appreciate that. Also, just on Saturday, I happened to be asked to represent the city and the mayor for a presentation over here in the Veterans Memorial, and it coincided with 9/11 and all of that. But the let's say colonial dames of the 17th century and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier folks, and then one other group presented what they called a plaque, but commemorating a garden that had been planted there. Never forget kind of a garden. But when I came, like I said, to represent the city, but they mentioned, presenting a plaque. And so I pictured the typical kind of a plaque, or maybe something more elaborate since it would be outside. But you have to go see that. I mean, it's a piece of artwork. It's an artwork. It's sculpture on this that, as I understand from what they said, it is some of the same sculpture that is in front of the Tomb of the Unknown
Yep.
Soldier, probably on a smaller scale, but it is the actual, like, 3 figurines, and that is just an incredible piece. I will mention this at council, but I hope somebody will come and take some good pictures of that, because that's, I mean, what an addition, if you haven't seen it.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the brainstorming. That's the best part of my job. I love that problem solving, and that was one of those. Because when that plaque showed up, it was small. And they came to me and said, could you work with us? I said, absolutely. And so let's see what we have. And so I said, I've got a spot. And so we go over there, and it's lost. It was only, the plaque itself was only like this, right? And so we talked through it with those folks, and we got it onto something bigger that was better looking. And again, we took out the plants, we added the roses, and we brought it together with everybody, throwing their ideas in and made it come together. And unfortunately, I was out of town at the time. I really wanted to be there, and I've yet to go over there. I just got back yesterday, so I need to go over there and take a look how it looks. But you're absolutely right. It's beautiful, and the neat thing, it is an actual reproduction of what's there at the real memorial for the Tomb of the Unknown.
And I will say, all of the folks that were there representing these different groups, and some from different parts of the country.
Right.
I mean, they gave high praise to City of Coeur d'Alene and to you and Park Department for working with them. And, somebody was with a group from Spokane, and it was nice to hear them say, man, when I came over here and see what you've got here, and that, just the fact of besides McEwen Field in general, but the Memorial Plaza, which can be used for many things and is just a highlight. And when you
Perfect
have
spot for it,
a somber but important, ceremony like that, place for people to come, that's an incredible asset that our citizens need to know about and appreciate. So.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, just one more thing. Bill, another really important thing about your presentation is it's good for council to be reminded all the time. We use everything.
Sure.
But if you aren't on that side of town, you might not use it as much. And just the whole idea of the volume, the amount, is good for us for strategic planning, because you didn't ask for anything in your budget this year knowing that we were trying to.
We always try and do our part.
You always do. But you also took on new parks last year, one of them Atlas, which is huge. So we are going to have to, in the future, absolutely increase your staffing. It's good to have this information.
Yeah, well, good, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. There being no other agenda items, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you both.
Great.